Asal Sharniyazova from Kyrgyzstan, Central Asia, representing Press News Agency. My first question is, Lee Miller was such a singular figure, trailblazer who left such a great impact through her work. So my question is, what do you think, we have fewer figures like her today, or it's just a matter of time and perspective until we can recognize face-to-face heroes in our own era?
Well, I think it's interesting because often I find that women don't want to have a big fuss made around them, you know? And so Lee Miller did achieve a huge amount in her life, and the work that she did was so important. But she would never have seen that as an achievement. She would have seen that as a duty. She would have seen that as telling the truth, revealing injustice. And I know so many women like that who do this very important work, but they don't want to necessarily be known or recognized for it. However, I think in the case of Lee, her work was so unique and so important because without it, we would not have such, I think, unique images of the conflict. But also she was one of the very first reportage photographers. And were it not for her, perhaps she may not have inspired many more people and women along the way. And so it felt very, very important to tell her story so that we can really see how hard it was, how much harder it was for women then, just to get permission to go. And it was a huge privilege playing her, it really was.
The iconic photograph of Lee Miller in Hitler's bathtub is very often discussed in terms of symbolism. What does that photograph symbolizes personally to you? Like,
to me personally, it symbolizes many things. But I can see how Lee would have taken a bath in that bathtub because she had not touched hot water for 6 weeks. She hadn't changed her clothes for 6 weeks. And we know that because Davy Sherman wrote about it. Davy Sherman, played by Andy Samberg in the film. But Lee was a very brave, bold woman. She was also very clever. So I think she got into that bath for practical reasons. And then I think once she was in there, realized, hang on a second, this is a photograph not to be missed. But also for her, it was important because of the timing of the photograph. She had been in Dachau that same day, in the morning that day. That's why she stamps the dirt of Dachau onto Hitler's bath mat. And that's why we see it in the film, because it mattered so much for her to stamp his crimes into his own private space.
For someone who experienced such a huge trauma and experiencing such a darkest moment of the history, what do you think, taking into account that so many similar things are happening these days, both in war zones or other situations, what would help a person to continue live his normal life and just to overcome somehow the experience they had in...
I have to say, I actually don't think I could answer that question. I don't think I am equipped to advise on what might help someone in a situation like that, because of course I have not been in a situation like that one myself. I don't think I should try and answer that question, if that's okay.
Yes, thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.